So good evening to everybody once again. As you can see in the past, when the meetings used to happen, residents meeting, in the past we used to have an RAS and then 60 people or the working groups have to initiate. But this monthly meeting is because we can have a monthly based update and interaction also. So kindly requesting the residents, because you have already received an email, when you have certain things to inform or to give a presentation or any questions, you can also send your questions and all the details in advance. So this is, we're doing it on a monthly basis so that all kind of blocked or all kind of questions that have been lagging for long term, we can immediately clear it. So thank you for everyone who have joined today. And today's program is going to flow the following way. We're going to have the first presentation from ATDC. Then Sindhuja will be giving two presentations, one part of the mobility and the other part on legal updates. And then we'll be having the secretary ma'am. Unfortunately, she'll be joining online as of the delay in her flight. And we'll be having also Mr. Ozi sir here, who will also be addressing you. So we'll start with the presentation from Mr. Ponuswamy Antoine from ATDC.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Ponuswamy. I would like to give some work in progress and what is being planned for the future of electrical infrastructure in Auroville. And I'm a member of ATDC. Just few slides I would like to give you as a start. Next, please. So, Auroville Energy Vision, as you know, that we are not taking the energy as part of our selfness and using it for our personal desires and comfort. It's supposed to be for Auroville will be a township that consumes energy only from sustainable energy sources. To the extent that Auroville uses energy from non-sustainable sources for the building of the town, surplus sustainable energy shall be produced to compensate for such consumption. A change of consciousness and the transformation of matter are essential to achieve ultimate integral sustainability. Next, please. So, until 2012, Auroville received, but later on, it grew all the way up to ECR. And then we didn't have any control over it. So, the interruption started getting really heavy and a lot of vegetation grew along the line. We could not maintain it at all. So, what we have decided, we wanted to migrate with another feeder right now. That is from 2025 December onwards. From Pilachavati feeder, we have connected and we have left the Auroville feeder now. And from that time onwards, the interruption have reduced quite a lot. So this scene has been already for long time until 2012, and we worked very hard together with Tuan and Secretary Madam and others to get rid of all the overhead lines and put all the infrastructure of electrical underground. Next, please. So this is the overhead lines infrastructure damages after a cyclone. This is actually after Thane cyclone. We have got about 140 LT poles have been fallen down with the service connection and meter, and about 70 HT poles got damaged. So all this got replaced with Auroville's, and we have replaced all of them in 47 days with the help of Tuan. He has contacted many organizations in Tamil Nadu to get the help of tractors, trucks, JCB, and all that equipments were borrowed from people, and then we got the work done in 47 days. So we have received a lot of appreciation from Tamil Nadu Electricity Board chairman, and we could do that because of our team and Auroville support. Next, please. Oh, can do it from here. Transition to Auroville overhead and operation underground distribution system. So for the city area of Auroville, the TNB overhead lines are being replaced with an Auroville owned and managed underground distribution system with a single connection to the public grid. That means SC number 86, what we have in Bharat Niwas, that is the receiving station. That's one single service connection is serving about 750 service holders of Auroville within the city limit. Next, please. Sorry, go back. I forgot to mention the voltage. The present connection to the public grid is at 22 kV. This will be changed to 110 kV in due course after Auroville builds its own 110/11 kV substation. That is very soon. We have already prepared the letter to be sent to Pondicherry government. Sir has to sign that letter, and that letter will be sent to Pondicherry government to get this spare line in place so that we can build our own substation 110/11 kV. Next, please. An Auroville electricity master plan was prepared in 2014. The plan reflects the township vision as expressed in the Auroville master plan and gives due consideration to energy efficiency, energy conservation, distributed generation, renewable energy sources, smart grid solution, and innovative system process. Next, please. Please do it. Doesn't work. No, one slide before. The electricity master plan, part 5. 5 parts we have made. Electrical master plan, concept and design philosophy. Electricity HT distribution plan, electrical LT distribution plan, road and street light master plan, park and green zone master plan, lighting plans. Next, please. The Auroville Electrical Master Plan has been prepared with the objective of creating a safe, energy efficient, and modular electrical distribution system which can be implemented in phases as the township grows and develops. The electrical distribution capacity requirement for the township is estimated as given below. Phase 1 for population of 5,000 people, 5.6 megawatt. Phase 2, 15,000 people, 12 megawatt. Phase 3, 25,000 people, 20.6 megawatt. Phase 4, 50,000, 48 megawatt. This translates into an average installed distribution capacity of 0.96 kilowatt per capita. Next, please. The HT high tension distribution voltage will be 11 kV. The initial receiving HT voltage from Tamil Nadu Electricity Board will be 22 kV since this is the existing 22 kV since this is the existing HT distribution voltage of Tamil Nadu Electricity Board in Auroville area. In order to meet the future load demand, a 110 kV or 11 kV main substation will be installed. Even then, Auroville generates all of its electrical energy from on-site renewable energy sources. A reliable connection to the public electricity grid is still needed in order to take care of the essential loads and backups. Next, please. The Auroville Township Master Plan layout lays itself well for the installation of the HT ring main along the crown, which sub-rings along the radial roads. 4 zonal substations are planned in the vicinity of the crown road. These zonal substations will be fed 11 kV sector substations. Distribution transformers will be connected to the outgoing feeders of the 11 kV sector substations. Next, please. To reduce the energy losses and voltage drop, the plans includes relatively higher penetration at HT level, longer lengths of HT cables and shorter lengths of LT cables. This will also result in a smaller distribution transformer capacity, typically 250 kVA, not more. Next. Distribution generation from renewable energy sources will be an essential part of Auroville's electrical energy system. This will include grid-connected solar PV generation and energy storage systems. In the interest of safety, reliability, and aesthetic, the entire electrical distribution system below the 110 kV level will be implemented with underground cables. Next, please. The electricity master plan includes typical last mile distribution drawings, which can be converted into specific drawings as and when detailed development plans are finalized. Next, please. HT town feeders. Please come back. No, one before. One before. One more. Yes. So this is the HT town feeders example. So now we have completed the ring main along the crown with great difficulty. We had this problem in Kalabumi area for a long time, and finally in the last we got resolved, and then we got the ring main connected very recently. So it is possible for us to do backfeeding arrangements. If at all something goes wrong in this area, we can feed from this side, and also the vice versa we can do. So now, right now, we are getting one incoming feeder 22 kV from Tamil Nadu Electricity Board. The idea is to get one more feeder from Pondicherry Electricity Board from this side. So that's how we have mentioned the feeder arrangements like that. So from here, I will hand over to Mr. Twan, and I would like to also give some information about the new constructions going around in Auroville. That is all electrical rooms which is being constructed by CPWD in various locations, like one in school area, that is Transformation Crown Road and Radial. Another one is in Verite, Radial. One in Bharat Nivas, that is Visitor Center, inside Visitor Center area. The next one is in Courage area. And the last one will be in service zone, service area. So 5 substations are being built right now by CPWD. So totally we'll be having 11 substations in Auroville, including the ones which are functioning now, 6 numbers, including Matrumandir, Bharat Nivas, Sanjana, Farewell, we have admin area, and Automode. So these are the 6 internal transformer functioning now under Auroville Electrical Service, Auroville's control, and 5 more yet to come. So this will be managed by purely Auroville and Auroville Electrical Service with the help of Twan and Madam. Madam is fully with us and she's helping us. And one more information I want to give. For a long time, we didn't get the additional load from Tamil Nadu Electricity for various reasons. That we have to pay some arrears amount and all that. Somehow it got solved with SAR's help, and now we got the additional load of 300 kVA. So now we can load more loads for new construction and all that. And also we are not paying the penalty for reaching the level, because we have had only 650 kVA sanction load. When you reach more than 600 kVA, you will have to pay penalty, which is now avoided, so that we can use more electricity without any problem. Thank you.
So as Punasamy has explained, right now Auroville is connected to a 22,000 volts feeder of TNEB, which is coming in from the Tiruchitrambalam site, Irumbai. We have We have planned to do a 110 by 11 kilovolt substation ourselves. Just to inform that this 22 kilovolt is a very non-standard voltage in India. The standard voltages are 11, 33, 110, 230, 400, and 650. 22 is a very strange voltage which happens in a few pockets. One of those pockets is here. Pondicherry town also used to have it. They have already switched over to 11. So we also want to switch over to 11 kV for the internal distribution, because if you are using 22, you're actually purchasing 33 kV equipment, which is labeled as 22. So you're paying too much also. So the sooner the better. We should build this 110 by 11 kV substation, phase one. And phase one would mean, you see the substation is designed like this. On top, you see two incoming feeders at 110,000 volts. Initially, there will be one, and later there will be a second one. And on the bottom, you see four outgoing transformers, 110 by 11 power transformers, and outgoing feeders, 11 kV each. And those 11 kV each, they go to the zonal substations. So each zone has one substation of 11 kilovolts. This is the layout. I mean, this is the top view of that substation. The left side is the incoming feeders, 110. And on the right side, you see four outgoing power transformers. And we have kept space for a fifth one. In case, we grow more than what we thought, we have a fifth one. And on the left side, you see the control room. In that L shape, that is the control room. So this substation, we would like to start the building this year and install only one power transformer, not all the four, and not even full capacity. The full capacity of each of these power transformers is 16 MVA, say 16 megawatt. We have proposed that we put only 5 megawatt first, because our present load is only 1.2 megawatt maximum. Now, where do you connect that 110 by 11 kilovolt substation to? If you want to connect it to the Tamil Nadu grid, then you end up having to do it somewhere here. Here is the Tiruchitrambalam substation from where we get supply right now. And then you have to find a way to run a line all the way from here somehow to Auroville. The other option is Pondicherry Electricity Department has a double circuit 110 kV line going to Kalapet. So an arrangement could be made between Tamil Nadu Electricity Board and Pondicherry that we get a line from them. They do their own, accounting amongst them, and we get a normal TNEB connection. That is one thing which is being tried now. A letter has been made ready to be sent to the Energy Secretary of Pondicherry. If they agree in principle, we would approach Tamil Nadu with that proposal. Here's another view where you can see more clearly the white line. This white line is the Pondicherry feeder. This line. It's a double circuit feeder ending in Kalapet. And it is 110 kilovolts, and we could connect somewhere here easily to our proposed substation, provided Pondicherry government agrees to do it and provided TNEB agrees to do it. Now the substation is going to be, that 110 by 11 substation is going to be somewhere here. And then there are going to be four zonal substations which already have been marked. One here, one, it's a bit difficult to read. I think one is here, one is there, and one is somewhere here. So 4 substations, one for each zone. Each substation, each zonal substation has a separate incoming line from the 110 by 11, and they're also connected to their neighbors. So if I'm now one of those one zonal substations, I have an incoming from the substation. I also have an incoming from my left neighbor, and I have another incomer from my right neighbor. So it gives more flexibility in case of failures. It's a ring-connected system. So even for that, for the zonal substations, we have prepared everything. The single line diagrams are ready, the layouts are ready, bill of quantities, estimates, cable plan, cable energy loss collect, everything is being done, it's fully ready. This is the solar substation layout. The earlier one was the single line diagram. It's all ready. And I'm happy to tell you that this work we could do without any cost to ETDC, zero cost. So it was an offering made in kind to TDC to give them the output of this work. It was done over a period of 6 months. So then to summarize, we have an interconnection with the outside grid at 110. We have a substation of 110 by 11. It's designed for 64 MVA. Initially, we will start with 1605. Zonal substations for each zone. Sector substations. In the zones, there are sector substations, again connected in sub-rings. Distribution transformers, to which the loads are connected. As Pundasamy explained, we have taken a very conscious decision already in 2014 when we were working with DCL. DCL, Development Consultants in Calcutta, was the consultant for this, to have more penetration of high tension and less penetration of low tension, because that gives you much lower energy losses. So therefore, we have selected, instead of having a few big transformers, we have many smaller transformers of 250 kVA maximum. Yeah, there is one request we keep on making to the urban designers and the architects. Please integrate the transformer rooms and the other rooms into your architecture and urban design. We don't want these separate, ugly-looking rooms everywhere. So when they can be integrated into the architecture, it will be much better. And it is possible because in Auroville, all the buildings belong to Auroville, so we can integrate them anywhere we want. We don't have to have separate buildings. Okay, this has already been explained earlier. We have a very good energy metering system. So every transformer, every connection has a meter which can be read remotely by Auroville Electrical Service. And this is what is known as the 4-quadrant metering. So we can measure the import and the export of energy in all the 4 quadrants. And because of that very close metering, we can do also energy metering audits. We can have energy consumption feedback loops. And we do this with the Auroville-owned fiber network, Auroville system. So what has been completed and what needs to be done? So what has been completed? And this way, this really requires a very loud and warm clapping from you for AVS, because they have in no time converted a complete chaos of overhead lines of TNB in an underground system. This was done in a matter of a couple of years, and it was very urgent to do it for many reasons. Also, one other reason is that as long as you have the overhead lines, any private party also can connect to them. And then you can never remove that line as long as there is even a single private party. So this was very essential from that point of view as well. We have grid-connected solar almost coming to a megawatt now. We have off-grid solar of 300 kilowatts. We have one wind turbine in wheeling mode. Wheeling mode means the energy which is generated by the wind turbine is credited in Auroville's electricity bill. And then we have, of course, energy storage. Now we have already 425 kilowatt hours. The plan is to do in this year, calendar year, another 1 megawatt hour of storage. Now, why is storage required? Even in Auroville, the sun sets, right? Does it or not? The sun sets. I mean, you cannot have sun 24 hours. So if you want to have 24 hours solar energy, the only solution is you store it in the daytime and you use it in the nighttime. So the plan for 26-27, this financial year, is to make a beginning with that 110 by 11 kV substation and put at least a 5 MVA power transformer, install the zonal substations, start with the sector substations as and when required, and of course additional distribution transformers, as Pundasamy has already explained. Now a little bit about renewable energy in Auroville. Auroville has been doing renewable energy right from the beginning. It's not something new. Already in 91, we did a first 36.5 kilowatt solar PV plant for Mathumandir, which was for those days very big. It was probably the biggest, at least in South India. Now 36 kilowatt is nothing anymore. And of course, we pioneered, we can be very proud as Auroville, that we pioneered the grid-connected solar for the whole country. We did our first pilots in Auroville. I have to show there, or? Yes. So here's the 36.3 kilowatt, which was done in 1991 with Tata BP Solar. This is an Auroville windmill. These windmills were used for pumping, not for electricity. Okay, no problem. We can have a simple version also. Then the Smart Mini Grid project. That's a very interesting project because there what we are basically doing, we say we can have distributed solar and distributed storage all interconnected through the existing Auroville internal grid. We don't have to make a new grid for it. And what is very nice that, especially for the government officials present in this room, that this project was endorsed by the Ministry of Power as a project which is a good example for the whole country. Now, some photographs of that. Here you see the area of the town hall full of solar panels. Now, we spoke about storage. Now, this is a very interesting graph. If you look at this graph, you will see the following. The red line shows battery charging and battery discharging. So you see here in the middle of the day when the sun is shining, the battery is charging. And that charged energy is discharged in the evening. You see here between 6 and 10. And because of that, the curve which would normally have been like this has become like this. So we are basically taking zero power from the grid during these 4 hours, which also happens to be the hours when the electricity is the most expensive. So this shows the incredible benefit of having energy storage. That surplus solar in the day you use in the night, and we will also program the battery in such a way that it also can be used in the early morning. Now, what are the next transformers where we would like to put batteries? The first battery, the first transformer which is coming as a candidate is the transformer close to Farewell, opposite to Humanscapes. Because that transformer has, as you can see, a lot of surplus solar energy in the daytime. This below the zero line means it is surplus. So this surplus can be stored in a battery and then can be used to reduce or even remove completely this evening peak. This is also technically known as load shifting or peak shaving. The next candidate is Baranivas. Baranivas also has surplus solar, a little bit less than Farewell, so the battery capacity there will be a bit less, but still it is a good candidate for the next battery. Then a very nice thing is that our unit Synergy, Auroville unit Synergy, which makes the Wattmons, is developing a distributed energy resource management system, of which this is the first version, where every energy asset of Auroville, solar systems, high tension connection, transformers, can be put into this, and you get an instantaneous reading of the kilowatts which are being consumed or exported. And based on that information, we can take quick decisions automatically as to which battery should be charged and which battery should be discharged. So this system is going to be fully developed during this year. I had one slide where I had put something which is missing, which I really have to show. 1 minute. Because sometimes it skips. Because what I wanted to emphasize with that Smart Mini Grid project, where actually I have to point this? I have to point it there or here? There, to you. Or you are the person to point it. Okay. I'm pointing at you. Can you go back, please, from there? Can you operate? Go back a few slides. Once back. Or you can't? One more back. One more back. One more back. One more back. One more. One more. Yes, this I have not explained. This is a good example, this whole Smart Mini Grid project, of an excellent collaboration between various units of Auroville, where everybody contributes his best. So Auroville Consulting did the whole concept, visioning, fundraising, etc. Auroville Electrical Service does the entire electrical infrastructure. Sunlit Future does the solar PV systems. Synergy does the system monitoring. Auronico gives us the communication connectivity. And Auroville Road Service does all the cable trenches and civil work. So this is a very good example. It's a smart example in the smart mini grid of how units can all collaborate together and give a common output. So now we can go back where we were, which is the last slide. Pardon? Can you go? Oh, I don't press. Okay. There was a slide called additional photographs. If you can go there, then we are done. Yeah, so here are some photographs. This is the connection of the present interface with Tamil Nadu Electricity Board is this one, 22,000 volts. It is located near Bharat Nivas. Next. This is a work where you see the road service team and electrical team together putting a 300 square mm high tension cable into the ground. These are very heavy cables. Next, please. Look, even this way it has to be pulled. Next. This is a nice transformer room of Auroville at Bharat Nivas. Next, please. This is an inner view of the same transformer room or another transformer room, perhaps. Nicely tiled. This is the inauguration of the first battery system. This is 360 kilowatt hours with a 180 kilowatt inverter. Yes, please. Next. And here the whole team which worked on it together is shown on this photograph. Next, please. This is a solar PV system with hybrid inverters and a battery system. And some electrical work going on. Thank you. That's it.
So if you have any questions, please note it down, because after the two other presentation, we'll get a slot time to ask all the questions we'll answer. So now, next I call upon Sindhuja to give two presentations, one related to legal and the other one is silence. The other one is silence. Silence Center.
I'll say next. This presentation will be very short. We wanted to just update on some changes which you will soon be seeing on the ground. Two key changes. One, I'll start with the bigger one. The city center of Auroville will soon be converted to what we call the silent center. E-vehicles, cyclists only, no fossil fuel vehicles. We want to stop the fossil fuel vehicles at the crown, create parking nodes. Next, please. So this is roughly what the project right now looks like, because we are not able to make an outer fence so easily. There's a lot of Porambokes crossing. We thought let's start with converting the city center into a fossil fuel free zone and giving a taste of the rest of Auroville, how it should be, the city area. So in the blue, you see already all the existing fences and gates which are around the communities, the front part of the communities which face the city center, the crown. And the red shows the connectivity between the fences wherever it's missing right now. Those linkages will be formed. Next, please. And then there will be gated entries. So there are two types of networks crossing this crown. One is the radial roads which come and end at the crown now, or sometimes it's not a radial, it's a road that we are used to, which is not a radial. I'll give you an example. The road that goes from Town Hall to Oro Mode right now, it's not a radial, but that road is being used to access up to the crown. So that road will continue. So out of these two roads, one of the roads will be the type of green network where only cycles can cross through, but emergency vehicles will be permitted. So we are proposing this kind of gate which we have seen implemented elsewhere in Auroville. It's a kind of barrier gate that can also be opened up if required for ambulance or four-wheeler access. But ideally, these gates will remain locked at all times and only allow cycle access through. Next, please. And the second type of gate at the radial or the Oromode-like road entry points will be this cow gate for two-wheelers, a security guard posted, and a sliding gate like in the town hall campus, which we see now. So we are in the process of getting estimates from road service and various other services, and we'll be entering into implementation very soon. So over the summer, we plan to convert this. And if you go back 3 slides in the map, you will see. Could you go back 3 slides? No? So here you see some hatched areas. Hatch, by hatch I mean these colored areas along the fence. In some places you have this blue patch. Those are to be converted as parking nodes. They're also going to be included in the estimate. There will be parking platforms. They won't necessarily be covered. We are trying to raise the funds also to cover them at least with a green mesh, so that people who come from outside and they leave their vehicles there, at least they're shaded for most part of the day. But be prepared that after the summer is gone, we will be all parking to access the city center. The designated entry into the city center will be the Mangalam Radial. So connected to this, there are two more changes. One is the road which we right now take to go to town hall from the residential zone side. Do we all know what I'm talking about? The road from Surrender side, you come and you take a left and you go to town hall. This shortcut was never supposed to be there. A lot of roads in Auroville which we are using right now were not permanent roads. They were never supposed to be there. They've just come because we're using them as pathways. This road will now lead to a dead end called Matra Mandir Service Facility, which is a building construction which we will be starting very soon. It's all the service facilities of Matra Mandir which will be moving into the building so that the lake can be implemented. So that road will be closed. So your entry into the town hall complex or the city center admin complex will be through the Mangalam Radial. So there will be more details shared on Oronet and user notes about this. There will be a change to make. It may be a little cumbersome in the beginning, but this is what will allow us to make the city center and eventually the whole city fossil fuel vehicle free. And the second change, not necessarily connected to the traffic control, but closely tied also, is the school zone. So this kindergarten, Aha, Nandanam, Deepanam, pre-creche area, this road is being right now used as a shortcut to go to Savitri Bhavan. Now that the crown is completed, this shortcut will no longer be available. We'll be capping it at the level of the archaeological triangle, as we call it. And this road will only lead to the schools over there. School buses can still access. So it's very important to note that there'll be timed service vehicle access on the crown also, but it will be a timed access. So the change that you will see is that fossil fuel vehicles will not be accessing this road all day long or accessing the city center all day long. In the school zone, school buses will be allowed, parents will be allowed with e-vehicles, but that's it. There is no thoroughfare. And that's basically the changes you'll see implemented well before August, I would say. Sri Aurobindo's birthday, we are targeting to convert these zones into silent and safe spaces. And the last thing I want to announce is, along with the change in the school zone, we have a project, the toy train project, which many of us know. It has been, in the detailed plan since a long time. In the kindergarten belt, there was supposed to be a toy train that allowed kids between the age of 4 and 7 to access the schools on their own with a certain level of autonomy, of course guided with adult support and all that. The Ministry of Southern Railways is gifting us a toy train with a track, and they're coming and installing it. We have to provide the infrastructure. So that project will also be taken up alongside. So there will be a lot of these kind of changes which will come up. We'll keep you updated. We'll work with the schools, of course, to make sure there's as little disruption as possible. And that's the end of my presentation. Yes, I forgot to add that we have had a CSR donation from NLC of 5 golf carts, which is what prompted us to think, why not start this city center, converting it into a silent center project. So these golf carts will be, making a tour, continuous tour around the crown, and one of them will also be dropping people at the town hall complex. So we are starting with 5. We are hoping to increase very quickly. We are also looking at other CSR fundings for e-vehicles. So that's it. Anything else? Good? This is a good slide for the legal update. So we won't take you through a lengthy legal update. We know that we have won most of the writ petitions which were filed in the last 2021. So I would say almost 5 years now. We have had almost 30 writ petitions, including the writ appeals. We have won a lot of them. We have only 2 pending right now. So in the recent months between January and now, we have had 3 new writ petitions filed by Auroville residents. So one of them was challenging the residence criteria, which was issued in November 2024. The residence criteria is a standing order which is mentioned in the Admission Termination Regulations 2023. So this standing order was separately challenged by Swarnalata, Miss Lata Iyer, and after hearing the arguments on both sides, this writ petition stands dismissed. This is from March 2026. The second writ petition that was filed also very recently was by a resident of Eternity, Miss Tracy Scholes, where she challenged the land exchange proposed with Eternity at this present point. And the grounds on which she made this challenge was that she claimed right over the property, a constitutional right over the property. That was the main ground. There were a lot of other grounds also. The court studied the case. There were a lot of arguments, and then the writ petition also stands dismissed. So we are now going ahead. We have actually already gone ahead and done the fencing, and all the other measures are being taken. The court judgment also asks us to relocate them. They've given the right to the residents of Eternity to make a representation to the foundation asking not to be relocated. They have done so, but they will be relocated because land exchange is very important and it needs to go on if we are serious about building this galaxy. The third writ petition, yes, was the Annapurna resident Madhuri. She challenged the lease signed by the Auroville Foundation with IIT for that 100-acre piece of land. That also stands dismissed on the same grounds as the one in Eternity, that they don't have right to the property and that relocation will be done in a fair way, in accordance with the master plan of Auroville. So these are 3 writ petitions. And then there were 2 writ appeals filed. This is from a long time ago. Natasha Story had challenged the office order appointing the current Town Development Council. Now we all know, most of us remember that the Supreme Court already dismissed allowed the writ appeal that we filed, the SLP that we filed against the standing order challenge of the ATDC. It's a little bit complicated. There's a standing order, there's an office order. The standing order is the legal basis of the office order. So this person had challenged both. So the standing order was already won at the Supreme Court level and the standing order remains legally valid. But at the lower court, still the case was open on the challenge of the office order. Now this also stands dismissed. So legally we are very clear on the authority of the ATDC and our mandate. And the second writ appeal that stands dismissed is another one from 2021. Krishna Devanand had challenged a previous office order of TDC. This also stands dismissed. So that makes 5. And then the 2 Supreme Court judgments which we received in favor of the Auroville Foundation, affirming the master plan's statutory force and affirming ATDC's legality and the governing board's authority. They were both challenged or they were both asked to be reviewed by the same petitioners, Sandeep Vinod Sara and Natasha Story, and those reviews were also dismissed. They were not taken up at all. They said there is no reason for us to review these cases. So that those things stand completely over. They cannot be challenged anymore. Of course, all the proceedings at the lower court can still be taken all the way up to the Supreme Court. We will see. But up to now, so far, so good. The biggest, the good thing about these litigations in the last 5 years is that we have achieved more and more clarity about the structure of Auroville. Now, we have to become more efficient in the implementation of the structure and define how we want to do it together. But this is no longer in dispute. At least we know where we stand and what the Act is and what is the interpretation of the Act. So that's it for the legal update.
Thank you very much. So before we go to the interaction between question and answer, in all the announcement that the foundation has made and also working committee has made, we were open to all kind of questions. So we have compiled the questions. So now I call upon Mr. Kosi sir to just have an interaction about the questions that we have received.
Good evening, all Auroville residents. Now, once again, I stand before you very happy because we found last residents meeting, Madam has given the suggestion that we call for any inputs or any kind of questions which arise in the minds of the residents can be forwarded to the foundation, and that will be shared in the residents meeting, and in whatever possible way an explanation will be given. So this time we sent an email to all residents at least a couple of weeks before, at least one fortnight before, and we fixed a timeline that was 19th of April. But unfortunately, I do not know, there was some amount of confusion among the residents. The response was very poor. Till 19th, we had only one input. That was also not a sort of a query. It was just a general sort of a suggestion made by an Auroville that this can be experimented in Auroville. So I will give you all those details. Further to that, what has happened is we had to send reminders because we fixed the meeting on the 24th. So we know that residents have got would like to have some clarity on different subjects. In this particular residents meeting, this forum can be used to give an explanation. It is not going to be a convincing reply. We cannot convince you because you may have your own views. You may have your own, ideas about all these questions. But we are going to give you an explanation. In case you need more explanation, we'll again we'll take up this suggestion from you. We will again explain it to you. In fact, after these two reminders were sent to the residents, we had good number of response. We had at least 7 inputs from individuals who suggested new experimentation to develop Auroville. One was the use of AI. Since I don't want to name those persons, one was suggestion was the use of AI. One was the AI should be used for interpretation of the Auroville Foundation Act. This subject is slightly vague. Okay, this subject is slightly vague and it is not within the prerogative of the Auroville Foundation because Auroville Foundation Act is totally under the ambit of the Parliament. So we cannot do it. But again, there are times when Government of India seeks suggestions. Like if you have got any suggestions on when there is going to be an amendment on say, any particular act or rules or orders. So they take inputs. So in that particular instance, if we come across such kind of a memo or notice, we will definitely suggest your idea. It is for them to decide. Second is AI for communication. They would like to have a better usage of AI in the intra-unit, intra-sectional communications. We will forward all these applications or suggestions to the concerned units. Okay, and in case they develop something which can be used for the betterment of Auroville, definitely we look at it. And apart from that, we have got suggestions regarding development of road safety. 2 individuals have given some suggestions on that. We will work out with the ACS. And apart from that, there was a compilation. Why I am saying this is, after we gave 2 reminders, I told you we had immediate response. Some 22 questions were compiled by a group of residents. The subject was different, a very controversial, some things slightly not discussable in this kind of a forum, but we have compiled all those things. But as I told you, we fixed a timeline 19th of April so that if we get the inputs or emails from you, we had sufficient time. We had sufficient time to work on all those queries. But unfortunately, this compilation came only yesterday. So even then, we didn't want to disappoint you. I will take up this subject one by one. In total, there were 22 queries which related to Annapurna Farm, land exchanges, PKS case, visa issues, ROR accessibility, loss enterprises economy, maintenance cuts and silver fund, membership of working groups, ROR working groups, parallel working groups and ATR, competent authority clarity, violence allegations, youth center, tree cutting, compensatory planting, forest workers and gratuities, environmental impact, participatory planning, RA meeting venue, cinema paradiso, visitor center, cafeteria, Afsana guest house, files on residents. Interesting subject, is it not? No? Yes. You want all those queries to be answered. Definitely. But as I told you, we fixed a timeline on 19th. We got this input only yesterday. We worked, and we will definitely give you some explanation on this. What we have done is, there are subjects which can be clubbed. For example, land exchanges, Annapurna Farm, PKS, other related matters. This will be clubbed in one. A brief explanation will be given by persons who are connected to this unit. And if you are not in agreement with it, please again forward your mail to us. We will again work it out. Maybe next meeting we'll use this forum again to have some clarity on this. You like this idea or not? Okay. Now, if you are agreeable to it, I will give you a small brief on the visa-related subjects. Sindhuja will be giving on land-related matters. Kalia on FAMC-related matters. And Aaron on working groups and Joseph on working committee. You're happy? You're agreeable to it? Okay. Let me call Sindhuja to give an update on the subjects which I have told.
Gino? Come. Hello. Yeah.
Is it on? Yes. No, I'm okay. Okay, so first of all, can you hear me? Now? Yeah. So the Annapurna litigation has been recently dismissed, and there is no programmed destruction or anything underway. This is just to be clear. So the Auroville food security, let me talk about the Auroville food security. There is no such a thing as Auroville food security. Most of the food we eat doesn't come from our farms. Annapurna is 135 acres. Most farms are about 6 acres, 14 acres, 23 acres. And altogether, we produce less than 20% of the food that we eat. Much, much less, actually, but just not to go into polemics, we just say 20%. If Annapurna was very productive, Annapurna alone would be producing 20% of the food we eat. But that's not the case. There are different reasons why we cannot produce the food for Auroville. It's not, we cannot say the farmers are not doing a good job. There are different reasons. It's very challenging, but to talk about Auroville food security and claiming that Annapurna holds the Auroville food security, that's not the case. So that's all I had to say about Annapurna.
Yes, I just want to add that we need to make a consolidated effort as Auroville and all our farming expertise to farm the green belt lands There are a lot of lands we have identified and proposed to the Annapurna team to relocate to and start their farming activities over there. It was a conversation over months. Luckily now there was a court case filed, so we have compiled all the documentation and reports of those meetings. But unfortunately, we were met with not a willingness to relocate because it was not ideal, it was not the same thing, it was not together, the lands were not together. There were a lot of downsides which were mentioned. Yes, it's far from ideal, but it's our green belt. And Mother said that the Auroville's food needs should be taken care of by Auroville's green belt, not land far away. So why not use this opportunity to strengthen the green belt farming, which is, again, not contributing to Auroville's food security at all right now. All of Auroville's farms together only contribute 12% of Auroville's food needs today. This is the assessment. So where do we stand, and can we invite these teams who have put their lives into farming to come and take up these lands and make something out of it? That's the ask. So, and also the court has given clarity on, all of these arguments were raised in court also. So we have got clarity from the court that no, you guys can go ahead and do this. So 35 acres only are being cultivated actively. Of course, they are also saying that the other lands, the remaining lands are being used to support the cultivation happening in the 35 acres. But the entire Annapurna area is 135 acres. So can we only put 35 acres out of 135 acres to use? That seems like a ratio and math that's not working out. What about the local farmers? They're also asking 1:5 ratio to do their farming, supporting lands all around, then they can only do the farming in the center. That's not how it works. So yes, they've done great work, but let's also face the reality that no, Auroville's food security is not threatened by this MOU entered by Auroville with IIT, and actually it's going to bring a lot of good things. And yes, we need to strengthen farming in Auroville. There is no dispute there.
I just want to add that Annapurna is over 10 kilometers out of the master plan. It's located in an area where there is a big road, trafficked. There are a lot of shops and many, many factories. So the waterbed eventually is going to be polluted. So if we look at the future of Annapurna, it's actually better to relocate it. It's not easy to relocate a farm to start new, but you have to look at the future because this land, eventually this area is all polluted. It's already getting polluted every day. So I don't know what type of organic food you expect from a farm in the middle of factories and a main road. And industries, yes.
Now, as I told you before, you may not be convinced fully. But don't mind about it. I mean, if you've got doubt, you please forward your mail again. It will be taken care of, right? We will try to give you some more clarity on the subject, right? Now, the next topic or the clubbed topics are land-related matters, PKS, land exchanges.
So again, the question was slightly mischievous. There were 2 court cases filed on land exchanges, challenging the legality of Auroville's land exchange and claiming that all of our land exchange in the last 4 years has led to substantial loss for Auroville as a whole. Now, these 2 cases were examined. One was filed at the lower court. It was dismissed. An appeal was filed, also dismissed. The courts clearly didn't find any merit to the argument. So the same thing has been again encapsulated as a question and asked here. How come there is so much loss to Auroville in the exchanges? How come we are even exchanging land? How come we are not buying land? Why are we selling the land that Mother bought in the beginning? All of those things. And why the valueless lands of Auroville are being exchanged against valuable lands outside of Auroville. So I would like to start this answer by saying that all those who find Auroville master plan lands to be valueless and the outside master plan lands to be valuable, they ought to question their understanding and allegiance to Auroville as a project. If you find the lands of Auroville to be worthless, then I think there's a problem there. So the value today on paper may be less if you look at, and also we are speaking about speculative evaluation of those lands. When they say that eternity is going to be 400 crores or 60 crores or whatever the number they're throwing right now in social media, all of this doesn't come from registered sales statistics. Okay, we are not going by guideline value, which is very, very low. The government doesn't update its guideline value. So we are going by registered sales statistics. The people who are speculating are not going by that. They are going by what the black market is dictating. Can Auroville Foundation, deal in cash transactions and the black market? No, we cannot do that. So actually our safety is land for land. And it's not new in the last 4 years that suddenly we have invented land exchange as a mechanism of procuring land for Auroville. This has been going on since decades. When our own land boards were doing it, nobody questioned it, why we are exchanging land. All of a sudden, when it's the Auroville Foundation taking an interest to consolidate this very fast, this is being projected as an issue of corruption, which has not been effectively shown. Where is the corruption? In whose pocket the money went? How did it go? This has not been proved. So these words are being thrown around. And I would also like to say that there is no substantial loss demonstrable for Auroville if you don't rely on the speculative black market rates. We cannot even go there as an Auroville Foundation, as an institution. So, as per the registered sales statistics, if you look at the value on paper, Auroville has gained substantially. All of this is recorded in the court judgments. I implore each and every one of you who have your doubts to go and see that, because we are signing sworn affidavits. We can't lie in court. They're all backed up by documents. You please see the value that we have in terms of increase, even in just number, even in just value. And of course, the other value which we don't speak about, the invisible value, the Matra Mandir, the lands around the Matra Mandir. Can any developer now even think about buying those lands? Can you even put a number on it? Just because the land right now is in Oro Dam and somebody doesn't see how valuable that land is because they are not interested in the Auroville project, we should be interested in the Auroville project. So for us, the value is in the lands inside Auroville, not in the lands outside Auroville. So I implore whoever wrote this question to stop talking in the air, come with some proof. If you have proof of corruption, all those who went to the SP office and are circulating things on the social media, please, this culture really has to stop. This is just, beyond sad. And the next is the PKS matter. Actually, there are a lot of land matters which Auroville is fighting on a day-to-day basis. PKS is not the only matter. Auroville is facing a big risk of encroachment from, private parties all around, outside and in the green belt as well as in the cities. We have about 45 civil matters lined up in court. PKS is just one of those matters. It just blew up because all of a sudden it was a very visible land at the main road, and suddenly we saw somebody coming and clearing the land, and we all felt, okay, it's a land grab. Now that PKS case has been, we have appealed. Auroville Foundation has filed an appeal in the High Court, a civil appeal. Now, civil matters take a long time. They're not like these writ petitions which I spoke about earlier. The case has been admitted, but it has not yet come up for hearing. We are doing our best to make it come up for hearing so that we can get moving fast, but it is being handled absolutely. Is there any other land matter, sir? Oh, shall I just go through all my... Okay. Oh. I need water though. Okay, there was another question about the units of Auroville and why there were replacement of unit holders recently. And there were also detailed questions later on, which I think FMC will take. But this basically is a very broad-based question as to why the founders of units are being thrown out and why so many units have been closed in the past 4 years. And that was basically the essence of the question. So what I would like to highlight here is the basis of the question itself. It speaks as though the unit belongs to the residents who were running them or who founded them. I would like to say, obviously we all know it, but I would like to say it once more, that the units of Auroville belong to Auroville. It belongs to the collectivity. It belongs to not the founder, not the person running it, not the person who will run it tomorrow. So when there is some issue that is being identified with how the unit is being managed, we had a forensic audit done 4 years ago, which revealed a lot of things. And we have also had internal audits, and there is regularly CAG audits going on. When the units show mismanagement in any light, mismanagement may not be in the light of how a company, it applies to a private limited company outside. In the Auroville context, if you have an Auroville unit and you are running a private limited business outside of Auroville with the same scope and sometimes even the same name, it amounts to financial fraud. So in the Auroville context, within the ideology, within the ideals that we are living in, these actions were embedded in logic. There is no random action of change of executives, but in some cases there may not even be any wrongdoing. In some cases there may simply be an interest, okay, that unit is doing very well, let's strengthen it. This management has only been able to do this much, let's change the management and let's increase the economy of Auroville. This is the attempt. So, yes, and those who want these units, treated differently and allow them to do whatever they want to do, just because it was founded at one point by one person, they're treating self-interest at a higher value than the collective interest, and that's not what we want to do. I need a break, so maybe somebody else can answer questions.
Arun? Arun will brief you on the ROR and the latest developments related to the subject.
So when we started the ROR, there was quite a lot of resistance from the residents to apply for the ROR. But it's just a basic process that was supposed to happen every year. So recently, ROR is being finalized. The ROR is getting finalized now finally. But the only issue is that there are about 100 people who are not working in Auroville. Hundreds of people who are actually not working in Auroville. So there is no response from them. So without this, taking forward will be quite difficult. So it is also with them the responsibility to make sure the registration process happens fast. So because of them, everything is on hold. And because everything is on hold, all the other processes related to the ROR are also pending behind it. So this is the update, what is currently happening. But this will be pushed forward very fast.
Next is related to visas. Now, as I told you in the last residents meeting also, I normally give a statistical description of the visas being issued or the recommendation letters issued to the residents. Now, from 2021 July onwards till March 2026, we have received around 2755 applications. That may be for 5-year stay extensions, 5-year Auroville entry visas, 1-year Auroville entry visa, or 1-year extension. This category the categories are from volunteers, newcomers, and the resident. Now, all these put together, we have received 2,755 applications, out of which 2,649 applications till March 2026 recommendation letters were issued as per the request of the individual. So, for example, if an individual had requested for 5 years Auroville entry visa, his request was entertained. If he has requested for 1 year Auroville stay extension, his request was entertained. If he has requested for 5 years visa extension, it was entertained. And if it was for 1 year, it was entertained. And when I say 2,649 applications, it was given in totality. 109 cases we had restricted. Restricted in the sense, for example, if the individual had asked for 5 years visa, it was restricted for 1 year. It is based on the prevailing situation. It is not that this individual is going to be given only 1 year visa. It is not like that. Next year, same case, same individual has been given 5 years visa, if he is entitled to it. So 2,649 applications out of 275 applications we have given in totality. 169 applications were restricted and given. And here, these are the recommendation letters issued. Correct. There are some anxiety among Auroville residents that there is some delay in visa recommendation letters issuance. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we have got a foundation office, and this foundation office processes all your requests, and it is placed for signature for the madam. Unfortunately, madam, due to her heavy schedule, busy schedule, she is not able to sign all those applications in time. So there is delay. Again, I would like to emphasize a point. If your visa applications before expiry, if it was forwarded to the FRRO's office, you will not have a penal liability. In case you did a mistake, you did not forward your applications well within the expiry period, you may get your penalties. So it is your duty to see your visa applications requests are forwarded to FRRO's office in time. Now, when I say the visa conditions, it is not necessary that all visas are to be entertained. Naturally, Government of India has restricted many foreigners from coming into India. That is because of national security angle, and Auroville is one institution which functions with little bit of conditions like what we call a charter. This charter is one important factor for Madam Secretary to sign the recommendation letters. If there is a delay, there is only a process called scrutinization, because we have a committee. We have got a body, ATR, ATAC, which does it. They do it, the process their the visa applications, send it to the foundation office. The foundation office looks into the matter, presents this case to the secretary. Secretary has got her own doubts. In case there is a doubt, she may take some time to clarify, get it cleared. So in that such cases, at present, to my knowledge, I know there are 24 cases which are delayed. And we are into the job of clearing all those files, provided the conditions are fulfilled. It includes the visa rules, provisions, as well as the charter. Understood? If there is any deviation, deficiency, insufficiency on this charter or the visa provisions, it is bound to get delayed. Apart from this, there are some people who have got FIRs registered, police complaints registered in police stations. These applications are naturally getting delayed. So because Foundation Office does not have any role in this, it is totally the prerogative of the visa issuing authorities to grant visa based on the laws which is applicable during that current time. So in this case, we have got 24 applications which are delayed, and we are in the process of clearing it. Apart from that, we have got around 80 odd files which is all kept ready for madam's signature. If she comes today, she comes tomorrow, we'll see that the applications are cleared. And if I'm guaranteeing you, there is no witch hunting or targeting people on visas. There are some deficiency among individuals. You may have your divergent opinion, but the divergent opinion should not clash with the ideals of Mother and Sri Aurobindo and the Auroville. And if it does not clash, visas are entertained. So do you have any doubts on this? Here, I would like to stress on one point. People have been removed from Auroville. People have been removed from the outskirts of Auroville. Recently, 3 people were inquired by the RRO's office, who were all issued Leave India notices. But again, these individuals have represented to the FRRO's office and the Bureau of Immigration. And the Government of India, as I told you, will not act in haste. They also have a meticulous way of handling things. They take their decision based on evidence and the law. So if these 3 individuals who were found deviating the visa provisions and those were issued with Leave India notices, it is for them to explain their position. It is, they have to find out the reasons, explain it to the concerned agencies to get their visas clarified. So here the foundation does not have any role. Where there is delay, we will help you. Where there is a slight hold up, we will try to sort it out. Any clarifications required on visas? No. If you don't have any doubt, it is what I told you in the beginning. If you have applied to the FRRO's office, you don't have to worry. The application letters will be... No, but after the HRS files, you will have to file an application. If you have already filed your applications, you don't have to worry. If you have not filed your application, your visa expired, then it is your problem, right? If you have not, you forward it to the FRRO. Actually, June, this is the right time. May is the right time. Now, any doubt on this? Okay, in this case, right, Sindhuja, the other subjects. FAMC. We had some queries on FAMC subjects.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh, this I won't be able to answer. This we need Chandresh. Maybe he can do it next time.
Okay.
I have just 10 minutes before the meeting, they sent me 3 questions and said, please come to the meeting.
Okay.
So I'll just answer what I know about these 3 subjects. One main subject is visitor center, Right Path Cafe. So what happened in Right Path Cafe is right now there's a lot of gossip going around that. So what we propose to the people is when you have any doubts, please come to FAMC or write to us. We'll be more than happy to answer all that before you just go on listening to gossip and start creating something on your own. So what happened is about 2 weeks back, we received a complaint from the staffs who are working in the Right Path Cafe. They are non-Aurovillians. They have transferred some funds to their private accounts. And we don't know how the executives have given them the right to hold these details of transfer and all this. So they themselves came to FAMC and gave a written complaint on themselves, on about the executives also. So we said, well, we'll look into it. The normal procedure, not now, not when this new changes has started happening. Even 10 years before, the first thing what an FAMC member will do is we will contact the trustees first. We'll ask them to immediately look into the account, take control of what is happening there, look into the details, and give us a briefing on the issue before we step into it. So this is what we have done. And in this case, Sundar is the trustee and he has gone. We have given them the rights to get inside, look into the accounts. So they have called all the members and they are going through the sort of investigation, and the report is going to come to us very soon. They have sent us the briefing actually. And what we decided is we will give it to the accounting team to look into it. Here also what we have done, because there's so much thing about compliance, we have asked the previous Auroville accountants, which is Kumar and Palani and Prabhu, after convincing them for quite a few months, they have agreed to come and help us with this kind of queries when there is. So we are taking step by step. We have not appointed anybody, we have not stopped anybody, but we are looking into it for sure. So like how Sindhuja has said, when there is any issue related to units and services within the people or with the trustees or with financial management, we will definitely step in. This is not a new culture. This is there since a long time. And quite soon, if we find mismanagement, which already we know there's financial mismanagement for sure there is, the guy himself agreed that he has transferred. So definitely we will change the executives and we will have our own processes followed for sure. On that, what else I can say? So that will take, let's say, about 2 more weeks, we will come to a conclusion on that. Second thing, what was that? Because 10 minutes, Silver Fund, no, I can't say right now. There was this thing about, that Cinema Paradiso is nothing. We just change the executives and it's happening as usual. So that will function as normal. There's no changes of any timing or any kind of situation is not changed. It's just normal as it is. Afsana Guest House, we all know it's a very long story. This is not something which has happened in the recent times or when the changes have started happening. So I was actually part of it halfway, not 7 years back, at least 4 years back, I was part of this. I tried my best. I know myself. I have seen Afsana is the only one who spent all this money, built it for Auroville, but definitely there was a mismanagement of funds. Yet, being a FAMC member, I tried so many times to call her to the meeting to fix this up so we can include her by adjusting whatever has happened in a good way. So, but as some of you might know, Afsana, it's not easy. She will say one thing in the front, and tomorrow she will say something else. She will keep on changing her mood. It's a fluctuating thing. We couldn't support her. Later, Aroda was fixed there. She was she was the executive, and she was never ever collaborating with the FAMC. Even then, we said it's okay. She's a Auroville child. I pushed it in order to make her the new executive again. But then, in reply, she sent a horrible mail to us saying, "Who the hell are you? If you read the mail, you'll go crazy." She said, basically, we are nothing, and she doesn't want to even talk to us. And I can't say it louder than that. She was really cursing us. So we tried to show goodwill to her. I wanted her to be the executive. I know she will manage well, but she's basically saying she doesn't recognize her. While she is doing all this drama, her term of executiveship also expired. So when that happens, you can't sign a check, you can't deposit, you can't withdraw. So again, we waited for more than 1 year. This drama cannot affect any of our units. And again, I'm telling you, I've been in the FAMC 2-3 times before also, 2 times before. When there is a problem within the unit or units or services, what we do is, if it is hampering the situation, we will immediately change the executives if they are not collaborative. So again, this is not something new. So, but when I am there in FAMC, what maximum I try to do is hear it out, talk to all the concerned people, take our own time, make all the assessment, make sure we are not going to do anything wrong. So in fact, some people are not happy I'm taking these processes. In fact, it's delaying. For me, it's fine to delay it for 2-3 weeks, but we do it properly. So I am having tough time with my colleagues because they are not interested in just going on with this old drama of obstruction and delaying and sending us horrible mails and all that. So when residents, when you have any questions to FAMC, please call us. Some of you will have my number. Connect with us, and we are there to help you, but don't listen to gossips. Thank you. Somebody else? நான் வேணும் சொல்ல I was not there, but I know there was a conversation going on this particular subject. If you want in-depth, or how many of you want this information, please write to us. We'll give you the full write-up about this. I was not part of the change, but I know it was going to be changed. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kalia. No, actually, I would like to just reiterate. Madam had given the suggestion of calling for the inputs during the last residents meeting. And we had this in our mind, that we fix a timeline so that you send the queries, you send the inputs to us well in advance, so that we may, during next residents meeting, we fix the program and schedule the timing. Now, since we got these questions only yesterday, we had to overshoot this time schedule. Okay, even then, we did not want to disappoint, or we do not want to go back on what Madam had assured, that all your questions, inputs will be discussed. So we did not want that to happen. That is why all those 22 compiled questions were brought to your knowledge, and it was exposed to you. These are the questions we received for some sort of clarification. If you're not fully convinced, don't worry. You send us mail, we will try to give you some more elaborate reply on that. Enough? If it is over, shall I hand over it to OSD sir? Yeah. If there are any questions, I mean, on questions which need to be answered on the 3 presentations made today, like by the ATDC and on legal, sir. On ATDC and legal, on questions on that, yes. Yeah.
One is a suggestion and one is a question. I would suggest that whenever presentations happen, if you can add the estimated in the initial investment cost, the estimated ongoing cost, and the
I didn't understand the question.
For every Aurovillian to contribute to pay for the infrastructure cost, which means electricity, water, and telephone lines. So Guruswamy and Tuan, I had a question on before the cyclone, when there were external overhead lines, and then you changed it to underground lines, right?
Yes.
So what was the cost, total cost of estimate before, and what was the cost, and how much Aurovillians are having to pay
You,
double cost?
you send me a mail or WhatsApp message, I'll give you full estimated cost to you directly. No, no.
It concerns everybody, it just doesn't concern me.
No, 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 sir. Send me the question. I will answer you. Yes.
No, I just want to say already they're talking about paucity of time and we have a bunch of questions here unanswered. Are we taking such a complicated question right now and doing Q&A back and forth? It doesn't seem logical. Either we complete this list of questions in hand or we end the meeting.
Next time.
நிறைய இருக்கு சார். Okay, Joseba will now answer one question. The question is about parallel groups and ATR. Oh.
So the question that I have been endorsed is a very difficult question. First, the nature of these parallel groups. We have to say that this organization has been created with different objectives. One of them is to put finish to the city of the mother, and then they are proposing to create in Auroville, be substituted the project of the mother, the galaxy, for something that they call eco-village. Nobody knows very well what is that, but that is a very negative approach. The second big target is that these people don't recognize to the governing board. And then for that reason, all these groups have been declared illegal. We don't recognize also to them. And these people are doing constantly a work of undermining the most central objectives of Auroville and are creating all kinds of problems. Well, you know that 35 cases has been opened against Auroville. They have delayed the work quite a lot in many areas. And for these reasons, we have declared these groups illegal. We don't recognize at all these groups because we believe that they are very negative for the future, for the present, and for everything of Auroville. And we should be very careful in collaborate with them because their approach to everything that they are having is a very negative and very bad approach. I have some texts that have disappeared to be more.
That's it.
No, maybe. Okay. So I have to respond also to clarify a little the role of the RA. NRA, my dear. So when these new formulations, these new legalities came up, these supersede the old approaches about the RA that have certain rights at the level of the entry and at the level of the selection of some groups of Auroville. So we have now a new set of regulations, and these sets supersede whatever was in the past. And this is something also that we can speak. The mother never speak about the one area that will be something like a direct democratic system. The mother was not favorable to any democratic system. The mother always was thinking in something that was going beyond the democratic system. The democracy has been, at least in Europe, for 2,000 years and have presented good aspects. We cannot say that it's negative in total, but also very negative aspects. And the project of Auroville was prepared to try to go beyond that. And that is what we should really be focused in studying more all the papers of the mother, whatever says about all kind of systems of participation and democracies and no democracies in Auroville, the charter, that is a very important document, unique in the world, and to be focused in the positive aspects of Auroville that are many, and not to continue with this kind of opposition that is being very detrimental for Auroville, for the future of Auroville, and for the image of Auroville at any level. I am personally receiving, even from Spain, my country, many emails telling what is happening in Auroville. You have a dictatorship there and all kind of nonsense, all kind, that is difficult to respond to all that, when the reality here is quite different. We are defending the original project of the mother. We are for the city of the mother, and we don't want to deviate of that kind of objectives. So that's all.
Finish. First. Okay. So you see that there are some pending. There are some more pending questions, and the other thing is also that after the presentations, we didn't give any chance for the questions, so that is also pending. So we'll finish with the 10 questions, and after that, you're open for the other questions.
I was asking him to take a pulse of the room. Do you want us to address these questions now? Is there a kind of mood to hear the questions and the answers, or shall we do it next meeting, club the questions and answer you next time? Show of hands for those who want the answers. There's no show of hands. So let's open Q&A.
Okay, pertaining to the presentations, please ask your questions.
My name is Ram Narayan. It was talked about Annapurna, and then the idea comes right now spontaneously. If this is 10 kilometers away from the city center, and if it can be exchanged or used for some other purpose, for besides what is being used, can it also be used for land exchange to get some internal land, which is now we are giving to IIT? And if it is not everything is given, some part of it can also be exchanged for getting our interest. Okay.
Actually, for IIT, the lease land only for 33 years. Okay, so after 33 years, based on the discussions with the foundation as well as Ministry of Education, further we are planning to extend the lease deed. Okay, and not only that, already IIT they have clearly mentioned that we are also supporting for various activities, reforms and other things. They are ready to help Aurovillians to improve the farming and other things. So please wait. Okay, once the IIT comes, definitely they will support. This is what last week I had a discussion with the director of IIT Madras. He clearly informed that we are also having the same intention to improve the farming and other things. That's why this is a sustainability campus. So definitely we provide all the support to improve the farming and the Auroville. This is assurance given by the director.
Yes, sir. Okay, done. Another question, small question. Small question. Some people say there is a rumor, or maybe it is already clear, as you, Sundija said, that all the court cases are clear. But what about the court case about admission and termination regulation, is it still pending or it is clear?
So there was an interim injunction, there was a stay order that has been lifted. So now we are empowered to, operationalize the regulations completely, which is what we are doing, which was actually one of the questions in the form. Whether, this is why is the ATR functioning, why is the ATSC functioning was one of the questions. But since 2023 December, when the regulations were notified by the ministry, they came into force. Whether somebody challenges them or not, unless there is a stay order, the institution is, obliged to put it into practice, to operationalize it. So now we are going ahead full steam with operationalizing the regulations. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. That means the rumor doesn't have any value.
Yes, sorry, it's pending for final orders at the division bench of the Madras High Court.
Okay, it is still there. Okay, good. Thank you.
This is for Sindhuja. Thank you, Sindhuja, for your updates on legal, at the same time about Annapurna. But for me, right now, here we are maybe maximum 300 people. And most Aurovillians, maybe about 800 to 1,000 or more, we depend on news and notes and the recent on social media where Auroville has been splashed in a very bad manner. For example, the youth center, when it happened, it was only after maybe 20 or 25 days that the working group gave their explanation. So I would request that whenever something happens, if on news and notes or even on the social media, if an explanation could be given, that would save a lot of damage. Because right now, people have different and dangerous views. At the same time, I feel, yes, it's nice to see you on social media, where you are trying very hard to give an explanation. I'm saying this because I have seen what you all people are doing. But I also feel along with you, if some of the working group members who are on the spot could also give their explanation, that would fall on an impact, especially for people from outside who are actually going through it, and not make a one-side decision.
Point well taken.
Wait. So just before closing the program, I call upon OC sir to share with the community.
Good evening to all. I don't want to take much of your time. Actually, working groups have highlighted the current project. Now I am telling about the future project for this financial year 26-27. We have submitted to the MOE. One is that new town hall, and another one is southern service node, and vocational center, and sports complex, and a multi-university. So these are all the 5 projects for the tune of 435 crores. We have sent a communication to the ministry. Okay, once it is approved, then this project will start in Auroville. And another important thing is, foundation is the facilitator. Okay, don't think that, okay, actually that's why we have appointed more consultant retired from various Government of India officials in diverse of fields to tell us about how to proceed, how to follow the procedure, how to follow the rules and norms. That's why we have appointed. So we are facilitating, okay, whatever you are doing, just we are helping you to proceed to the next level. So don't think that we are not the stopper or we are not taking the complete control of Aurovillians. Don't think that. You please remove that thing from your mind. Okay, we are the facilitator to help you to various functioning in Auroville. Okay. So you please wait. Secretary Madam is coming on the way. She will be joining in 2 minutes.
She will reach in 2 minutes.
So kindly requesting to everyone, please be seated. Just 2 more minutes. Madam will be joining us now. She's coming here.
I'm coming straight from the airport. And I just thought everything's going so well, so maybe I should do this more often. Just totally disappear and let all of you handle it. I was listening to every bit of it. So I want to thank all of you who've come here. Tuan, your presentation as usual was excellent. Sindhuja, everybody, I think, Kalia, the few words that you spoke, And of course, Koshiji, I thought all the questions, doubts were answered. I just thought there's a very sweet message given on 24th April 1934. The mother says, "A special protection accompanies my blessings today, and the certitude of victory is included in my love." So I think we are, in certain terms, I think in very, very palpable certain terms, moving in that direction, definitive terms. And let's resolve. I think a lot of work has happened, a lot more is yet to be done. And all I can again request is all our sisters and brothers of Auroville who are, of course, here, those of you seated here, those of you who may not be here, but all this is put on YouTube, and we want more and more participation. Koshiji also explained all the details. The Charter requires us to be a part of this adventure of consciousness. So we want all of you to be here, participate in whatever way you can, and be a part of all this deliberations, discussions. It doesn't matter where you were before, but I think going ahead we should all come together is my request from all of us. I also want to take this moment to, of course, express our infinite gratitude to Mother and Sri Aurobindo, but also to all of the team members, the working groups, the residents, the team from Auroville Foundation, which is all working against odds. That's how the world is. When somebody starts working, there's a lot of opposition. You do nothing, and it's okay. It can seem like a cakewalk. That's how it is even in the world outside, where I normally now work. So it's nothing new. But I think the fact that we're moving ahead is wonderful. And I again want to express my gratitude to all of you for being a part of this. And let's only resolve to give in more of our time, our ideas, ourselves to see this dream happen. And that's all. Namaste. Vanakkam.
Thank you very much for joining us finally, ma'am.